So what do you make of the testimony and then the follow-up questions?
I thought it was really interesting that in the testimony she talked about how there doesn't seem to be a liquidity problem in the bond market. She seems to be laying the groundwork for saying, this market is functioning correctly. Yes, there has been some turmoil. Yes, on October 15th, as she's talking about, or she's addressing a question right now, there was this turmoil in the markets, but it doesn't seem to be substantial enough to raise serious concern heading into the first rate hike. She also is planning to still raise rates this year, despite, turbulent economic data. I mean, inconsistent. And you are seeing that reflected in two-year yields and Fed fund futures. People are pushing up their expectations for a Fed rate hike.
I just want to mention that Chair Yellen is currently responding to a question from Scott Garrett, a Republican from New Jersey. Michael McKee, in looking up the voting records of the people, the representatives asking questions, they seem, 98% they're with their own party. So is this just a kind of a show for them?
That's what these hearings are. I mean, they get the testimony, they know what she's going to say, and then it's an exercise in trying to get her to agree with the political position.
You said the vice chair question that was asked about the vice chair. That was an interesting question because there hasn't been a vice chair for supervisory and regulatory issues as mandated in Dodd-Frank, but she ducked the question. So we didn't and
get
she also talked about 13.3. This is the other. A lot
of regulatory and supervisory issues brought up so far. Nobody has asked her about the testimony.
Well, that's because they want to, as you just said, it's a show, right?
It's a show, and not just her. Ben Bernanke went through it. Alan Greenspan went through it.
Well, but during this show, it's really important for her to say absolutely nothing. I mean, that's her objective going into this. When you saw at one point she was answering a question, she looked directly down at her text and was reading.
You got to admit, that's an art in and of itself.